In this video, what I want to do is show you how to use an existing framework to quickly make a layout for just kind of a fictitious text site here. And so what we're going to do is make this site so that it's, got neat little features like a carousel. I got the mission statement right here. Pretty much every website, right? They love 3 columns of information, and we'll have a little footer at the bottom with copyright stuff and privacy policies. Okay, so that's the layout we're going to make. And one more thing that we want to do is we want our site to work well on all kinds of devices. So when I shrink it in, if we watch the 3 columns here, okay, you can see how once the page reaches a certain width threshold, all of a sudden all of the content stacks rather than going side by side. So what I'm trying to do is simulate what this site might look like on a phone screen, perhaps. So when we make something like this, first off, once you have some web design experience, nobody is going to just write all their HTML and CSS from scratch. Rather, they use some kind of framework which has a lot of pre-written HTML code for components of your page and CSS that does, some pre-written CSS that does nice things like center stuff for you and control the layout to make it responsive on devices. Things like carousels and navigation elements I might put on this page towards the end. All that kind of stuff pre-written for us. So one of the popular ones is Bootstrap, and a lot of people use Bootstrap. Like professional web developers use this. I would say this is the most popular framework in the world by far. But when you get into the documentation for this, all right, it can be awfully complicated because they get into a lot of technologies that a new that a new developer might not know about. So what I have done, and just to show you kind of what it looks like, right? You can go to different components of the web page, and what they do is they give you HTML components that you can copy and paste in, and tell you how it's going to act on components are going to act on different screen sizes and so on. But there gets to be a lot of stuff in here, technologies like SAS and some JavaScript stuff, and even the way you would install this on your computer. Again, a little complicated for beginning workers. So what I'm going to do instead is use this framework called Odin. All right, this is one I wrote myself, and what I tried to do on this is emulate what frameworks like Bootstrap and other Foundation and Skeleton and other ones emulate their documentation, but make it a little bit cleaner, a little bit simpler to use, and make it something nice for a new coder to jump in on. So I'm going to go ahead and click Get Started here, and it takes you to the docs. And in order to get started, all right, one of the first things we're going to do is I've got a basic HTML template, and it's got some of the basic stuff on here. It's got the doc type, it's got a head section, and it's got a body section where it's like ready to start making your content. The style sheets, all right, the Odin style sheets, it is linked to that through a CDN, so you don't need to download the style sheet. It is just, it'll just pull it from the internet when you view the web page, and then just some other head stuff like meta tags and page title and all that kind of stuff. So all we have to do to get started is I'm just going to copy and paste that. Just copy it all. And I'm going to go to my folder. And I already have a section where I've got, I've got all my little images here. So I've got some icons, and I've got a few images for the carousel. I've got just a basic CSS template file right now that's pretty much empty, and an index page, which is going to be the home page for my site. All right, this drawing file here, this is going to be for the layout. So when I open up this, I'm going to use VS Code to edit it, and I find it easier to open the entire folder in code. So what I'm going to do is right-click on it and say Open with Code. And if you can't right-click on your computer, you can also open code and then just say Open Folder. And then we'll go to Google Drive, My Drive. And where did I put it? Okay, and we'll open it by the folder this way. Okay, and I can get rid of the getting started. And you can see now I get to see all of my files in here, the CSS and the images, and I can, so I don't have to go back to the File Explorer to see what's going on. So I'm going to open up the index. Okay, and if you don't have an index file, go ahead and make one. And if you remember, I copied, right? I just took this getting started code, copied it over, and I'm just going to paste it in. All right, and I'll save that. And so now I am ready to start adding content. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here and I'll do the content in the next video.